Hey YouTube, welcome back to Unix TCG, and today we will be talking about a competitive deck list for Starter Deck 1 Vegeta. We're just going to be banging these out. You got the release coming out this weekend, celebrations, and we're just going to keep going and going and going because we are loving this game. We're falling back in love with the DBS TCG space, and so I'm just excited to go into these. So today we're going to break down this list I have been testing and just kind of go into it. These are all just lists that are going to be good base parts for you to play. Like, I'm sure you can go into your locals or a celebration and do very, very well with these lists, but I also know that there's always room to change depending on your meta or your own preferences. With that being said, we're about to get into it. Let's set this video for a 100 like goal, and then on top of that, if you want to give this channel some support, go down the link, check out this Dragon Ball video gaming video I have, maybe give it a like, let it play in the background. I'm almost monetized with that channel, and every little bit helps. So let's hop into this Vegeta list. Okay, so now that you guys see the deck list up on the screen, let's actually just talk about it. The first thing we're going to go over, of course, is the leader. You got Vegeta, very simple in the front. When attacking, draw one card, and then awaken when your life is at 4 or less, draw one card, flip this card over. Very, very easy. And then going over to the backside, the awaken side, you've got when attacking, draw one card, and then activate main once per turn. If you have 7 or fewer cards in your hand, this card gains plus 15k power for the turn, making a 35k attacker, and that's very, very important. In terms of numbers, and I have people asking if I'm going to do like another magic numbers video like I did with One Piece, and I think we can get there. It's going to be a little more complex than that because DBS it has some more layers to it, but we can actually get into that. The point being, though, is that when you swing at an awakened leader for 35k to 20k, they have to, at minimum, get rid of 2 cards in their hand unless they drop a super combo. So it is a very, very, very good number for pressure, and it puts your opponent on a very, very short lifespan in terms of hand if they don't have blockers. So with that being said, you also see that the caveat to this leader being at that total is having 7 or fewer cards in hand. This puts Vegeta in a very, very interesting place because essentially on your offensive pushes, you want to juggle around being at 7, and then you want to use your cards mostly to defend yourself afterwards. So we're going to go into how that works because there's a lot that does go into that, and it's very hard to explain quite all of that without going into what makes the deck the deck. So we're going to go through all these cards, and then we're going to kind of talk about that philosophy. Next card on the list, you've got Trunks Youth, and Trunks Youth is just from the starter deck. He's a 1 cost, draw 1 card, leaves 5k counter power or combo power on the board, and then that's just pretty much his purpose. Note, right now he is a 1-drop Earthling, and that comes into play later. Now you've got Mai, okay? Mai says on play, she's a 1-drop 5k combo. On play, add up to 2 cards from your life to your hand. Auto once per turn. If you have 7 or fewer battle cards in your hand, when an opponent's battle card is returned to their hand by one of your skills, draw 1 card. This will not come up as much in this deck, but it is something that every now and then you will be able to capitalize off of. Mai is by far the most destructive awakening card, self-awakening card in the game, allowing you to pick up 2 cards from your life. Just seeing her twice means you are awakened no matter what and can start pressing on your opponent. So this is a huge, huge, huge thing. And then we're going to go over to one of the main stars of the show. You have got Pilaf. This is the bad boy that's been putting blue on the map in a lot of different ways. 1 cost, 5k, 10k combo power. On play, if you have 7 or fewer cards in hand, add up to 1 Earthling with a cost of 1 or less an Earthling in its special traits from your drop to your hand. This is not counted itself. Normally, Bandai likes to make cards like this exclude itself, but this does not. And more importantly, it also picks up an extra card that we're going to talk about later. And then we'll be able to go into the Pilaf loop and talk to you about why it's an engine on its own. The following card that we're going to go into is the Sun Goten. Mai is the premier awakener, but you can't always count on just having Mai like that or Mai into Pilaf like that. So what we're going to actually do here is talk about this. You've got Sun Goten. When attacking, you can add up to 1 card from your life to your hand. Then if you have 7 or fewer cards in your hand, choose up to 1 of your opponent's battle cards at the cost of 2 or less, return to the owner's hand. This is actually very, very nice for multiple reasons. One, it mostly gets rid of blockers. In the yellow matchup, Zarbons, Dodorias, Neats, if you see them in play, this gets rid of a lot of stuff. And on top of that, you can also just, you can reset those. If they have like the 2 cost vanillas, If it's tapped, you know, you might not want to like do that. You might just want to leave it on the board. But you can always get it off the board so they can at least swing with you with it. Like you can always do your pressure, and then when you're done, throw a quick swing with this guy, pop that bad boy back in the hand so that they don't have that extra swinger to go neutral with your leader the following turn. The other cool part about it is that if you follow up Mai with the card like this, you are likely going to awaken that turn, but you're also likely going to be able to get more draw cards. Like, you could do something as simple as play my turn 1, you know, take 2 life. They swing at you, you take another life. Turn 2, you play Sun Gohan or Sun Goten, and depending on what you have in hand, you'll be able to do moves like swing with Mai, combo on Mai to get down to 7, or actually combo on Mai to get down to 6, and then you could swing with Goten, pop something back to hand. You're up at 7 at this point because you got a life from your from that to hand, and then you can do things like draw a card from Mai because you return a card from their hand, and that's when you're at 8. You can awaken, go up to 9, swing with your leader, go up to 10, and then you have 3 cards more or less, maybe actually probably like a couple cards, probably 2 to 3 to be able to defend yourself with, knowing that when you charge for the next turn to 3, you're back at 7 again. Activate main with leader to be at 35, and then you ball from there. So there's a lot of cool plays. Next, you have the 2-drop Trunks. This guy is also Self-Awakener, but note when you have 7 or fewer cards, he's a base 25k, which is very nice. With just a simple 10k goes up to 35, which is the magic number that we want to hit with our leader often, and you're going to see 35 come up in here quite a few times. It is just a very, very good number. And then we are going to move on to the next card, which is Piccolo. Piccolo is actually really bomb diggity, and we'll talk about him a little bit more later. But on play, if you have 7 or fewer cards in hand, add up to 1 extra card from your drop to your hand. This is going to recycle quite a bit of good cards, and he's base 20k for 3. So he's just got a really good effect, really well statted, and he elevates the longevity of your deck and your plays. Next, you've got this card. This one's going to be the one that most people aren't familiar with. This is the Vegeta from the promo pack that's going around the celebrations as well as the pre-releases. So this Vegeta is a 3-cost, 20k, 10k combo value. That's very nice stats. And activate main once per turn, discard 1 card from your hand. This card gains 15k power for the turn. So there are times where, like I said, that curve that I was just talking about, going into Mai, getting 2 life, they swing on you. Going into Goten, you know, swinging with Mai, comboing down, swinging with Goten, taking a life, bouncing something back, drawing a card with Mai, awakening with Vegeta, swinging with Vegeta. Then your following turn, after protecting your life, if you want to, your Mai, whatever, you can then activate main, go up to 35k with Vegeta, play tap 3 for this Vegeta. This Vegeta can discard a card from your hand, preferably a 1-cost Earthling that you can get back, like maybe a Trunks Youth or something like that, maybe another Goten, something like that. And then you have a 35k leader, a 35k Vegeta, and you can swing with Trunks. Let's say this only got you down to like you could swing with Trunks, and then you could drop a 10k to boost him up to 35. And this is like all like kind of like different bits of sequencing depending on your hand. Let's say you started the turn with, I don't know, 9 cards in hand, right? Sorry, 10 cards in hand. Like, let's say they didn't actually press you that much. You could charge, go down to 9, play Vegeta, go down to, 8 cards in hand, activate Vegeta's effect, and now he's a 35k by discarding a card, and you're at 7. And then you just activate Vegeta's effect, he's 35k, and then, you know, you can swing with Trunks and discard a single 10k, and you get a 35k, a 35k, and a 35k swing. So this actually lines up very, very, very well with this strategy, and I think he's just an excellent card, allowing you to manipulate your hand and get more of those 35k swings on the table. It's definitely going to help out with your Broly matchups when he lands, and actually he might be a target for going up to 4. Like, I could easily see in testing me maybe wanting to cut down 1 more Trunks Youth to play the 1-drop to play another one of these promo Vegetas. Next, you have the Trunks. The SR lineup is going to be really sparse because in this deck, you're usually using a bunch of 1 and 2 costs, and then anything above that is a little bit extra. So you've got this Trunks Future on play, add up to 1 card from your life to your hand, then choose up to 1 battle card with the cost of 5 or less and return it to the owner's hand. This is a very, very, very strong card in terms of resetting. It's mostly going to get most of his mileage against Yellow, where you can put their Golden Frieza or their King Cold back to their hand and then force them to replay them, because Golden Frieza has an on-attack effect, not an on-play effect. So you're not going to give somebody the same value as if you put back a Vegeta SR and let them bottom deck something in, or put back a Goku SR and let them pop something in. Frieza needs to swing. So if they want that effect, they need to tap 5 again, which is going to severely stunt their turn. It'll likely be their entire turn if the last turn was playing Frieza. So this is a very, very good card for that. Putting back a clutch blocker when you need to go for game is also pretty cool. There's just a lot of good things that this Trunks feature can do. It does fall off against green though, and it's not very good against red. Red has a lot of powerful come into play effects, like when played, on played effects, and green just has a bunch of fatter cards and 5 costs. So against those two colors, kind of suffers. Even against blue, it kind of suffers. Blue has nothing but essentially on play effects. So really, this card is to combat your yellow matchup and potentially make holes where you can. You see that we have 8 total Gotens. Oh, sorry, 8 total Trunkses and 4 Gotens. This card is just a very, very nice card that when you're dwindling on hand in late game and you need to clutch it up with some extra attack value, you can just tap 4, play this guy, get it back at 10k, get back at 10k in Goten and Trunks, and then you're going to be able to, you know, have an extra 20k in hand for attack or defense, as long as you have 7 or less cards in hand. Very, 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 very nice card. And then you've got the starter deck, the other starter deck SR, Vegeta. You definitely need a double strike. You never know when you'll be able to clutch out with a double strike. And the way this deck goes, sometimes you can make some of the most destructive shotguns of all time. And so, yeah, it's very, very good to have this double strike. The fact that he comes out and potentially clears a blocker too is actually just high-key disgusting. You will literally be able just to come down and be like, oh, that blocker in my way? Nah, get it out. And then swing and then devote your entire hand on getting that last 2 damage in. Videl super combo at 4, not really much to say about this. It's just a Videl super combo at 4. I like Videl because I like Gohan, he's best boy. Next you have Gallic Gun. I think Gallic Gun is one of the better extra cards in the game. Not quite as raw as Gigantic Meteor that gives you the 25k, but this is the closest thing to an original Master Super combo that we currently have in the game. You're going to be able to play this, go up 15k, and then just draw a card if you have 7 or fewer, allowing you to potentially string out defensive cards after defensive cards, because you will be able to be like, okay, you're swinging on me for like, what, 30? Cool, I'm going to now go up to 35 and replace this card in my hand. Very good card, very, very good to loop with Piccolo. And then you have your final Hope Slash. This is one of the premier cards in the deck as well. Activate battle your turn, choose your leader or one of your battle cards. It gains plus 20k power for the battle, then choose up to 1 battle card with a cost of 2 or less and return it to the owner's hand. We are going to talk about this so much because this is going to be where the grand scheme of things lies, okay? Then, last but not least, you have Final Flash, and Final Flash is a very, very nice card. Permanent, it's a 2-cost permanent. If you have 7 or fewer cards in your hand, reduce this card in your hand by 1, the cost of this card in your hand by 1, and activate main, discard up to 1 card, or discard 1 card from your hand, choose up to 1 of your opponent's battle cards that cost 5 or less, and place it at the bottom of his owner's deck. This card is the Mize because it gets rid of so many good cards in this format. Least effective versus green because, like I said, outside of Turles, green is playing a lot of cards that this card will hit. Turles, the 30k 5-drop Gohan, those are both good targets. Vegeta is a good target, but other than that, this isn't hitting the cards that you want it to hit. Meanwhile, against red, it hits Goku SR, it hits Gohan SR from the starter deck, it hits Beerus SR from the set, it hits Goku SER from the set. And against yellow, it pretty much touches every single card that yellow has. Like, I don't think yellow does not have a card that does not get touched by Final Flash. And then on blue's part, once again, blue does not yet have a card outside of Goku Black that is kind of fringe, I believe, at best, that gets touched by Final Flash. So great utility against almost the rest of the format except green, but green does look to be the meta going into set 1, so we'll talk about it. Now that we've gotten all of this out of the way, it's time to talk about the main things that put this deck where it's supposed to be. So the first and foremost thing is the peel-off package. This is what we got to talk about first. Now the peel-off package is interesting. As you can see, he recycles 1Ks. Or sorry, 1-drop Earthlings. So what you're going to be able to do is essentially make different copies. If you guys are coming over from One Piece, this is kind of the Rebecca of the deck and allowing you to recycle utility, because there are things that you can do, like certain lines of play that are crazy. Like for instance, turn 1, play mine, pick up 2 life, okay? You could, if they swing on you, and if you know you're gonna just kind of make this happen, you can do all sorts of things. Like for instance, you can on the 2 energy, you could combo with you could combo with Mai on like your defense or on your offense. It really doesn't matter. And then just go, okay, now I'm going to if I defended myself from like a crit, you know, a critical leader, and I had to drop 10k, I had to combo the Mai, things like that. You might want to combo from your hand before you combo with the Mai, but you got plenty of options. Only to then play the peel off if you're at 7 again, get back the Mai, play the Mai, take whatever life you need to awaken, and then get it back, because Mai is a 1-drop Earthling. You can do that. You just have to make sure you have the threshold. The other thing is that peel off, the reason why this deck is trying to be such a low curve is because peel off into something else is a very good play. On 4 energy, just 4 energy, you could play a peel off for 1, get peel off back, play a peel off again, and that peel off will get back something like Final Hope Slash. Then you could swing with your leader for 20. You know, get that gang off. Actually, I mean, yeah, turn 3, that's not that. Turn 4, yeah, you're probably waking. Swing with your leader for like 20 or 35 if you were able to get the activate man off at that point. Then right after that, you could turn one of the peel off sideways and tap another energy to play Final Hope Slash, boosting that peel off up to a 25. And then just bounce the other peel off to your hand. It's really, really good. Like, you have the ability to do these things. There are like in that play, it just gets better and better depending on how much energy you have and what you're trying to do that turn. If you peel off into Trunks 1-drop to draw a card, then swing with the Trunks 1-drop and combo or activate a Final Hope Slash and then just bounce the second peel off to your hand, you know right then and there you are swinging with a 25k swing on the 1-drop Trunks, and even if they get rid of peel off and Trunks, you could essentially do the same thing again next turn by playing peel off into peel off and getting the Final Hope Slash back. Bang. So it becomes this very, very good engine. Peel off is going to recycle your peel offs, your Trunks use, and your Final Hope Slash. The longer you get in the game, the more effective this can be, because you'll be playing peel off into peel off into peel off, and then letting them sit on board for counter power, for combo power, offensively or defensively. Now, this strategy does suffer from a couple things. Against red, they will be able to remove these peel offs left and right for free. Gohan swings, it's going down. Beerus activates his activate main, it's going down. Beerus SR comes out, it's going down. Goku SR, it's going down. Red is going to significantly hurt the way peel off is played, but not making it unplayable. It's just going to mean that when you're against red, you need to use your peel off combos offensively, because they likely will not still be there for your following turn. Or they can't reliably be used as combo power defensively against red. Against green, the first couple turns you're very, very safe, but the moment they hit 4 energy, your peel offs aren't also guaranteed, because you're getting Vegeta. You have the Gohan if they really don't find a better target on board and they just want to remove 10k. You've got the androids, which will remove 2 peel offs at a time. There's just a lot on that regard. Then you have yellow, which the peel off engine is efficiently very safe. They want to tap this and swing on it, by all means go for it. And then in the mirror, you have a lot of times where it's like either or. You don't really want to put peel offs back in hand, because that's what your opponent will need to do for themselves. So in the blue matchup, it's kind of safe, but you guys both have access to it, so that's a thing. But yeah, also that's just is what it is. The peel off, the My Future, the Trunks Youth, and the Final Hope Slash make a very nice recyclable engine. Speaking of recyclable, you also have Piccolo. Like I said, you play him for 3. If you're at 7 or less cards in hand, you can recycle a blue extra. That is Gallic Gun, that is Final Hope Slash, that is Final Flash. Very, very good. I think you guys can see where those lines of play go. And then, yeah, those are the 2 biggest parts of this deck. The hardest part about playing Vegeta is knowing how to manage your hand. There are certain effects that you want to use first, certain effects that you want to use later. Using cards like the promo Vegeta can get your hand down to a suitable amount where you're able just to go off and do your thing, but then you want to make sure that you're using cards like Vegeta, your leader effect, or your swing with your leader, or the Gotenks SR. You want to use those towards the back end of your turn. You don't want to cut off any of your effects. Like, if anything, you would be like, okay, I'm gonna activate Vegeta while I'm at 6 cards, in hand, swing with them to go up to 7, or sorry, swing with them to go up to 8. Like, you could use it at 7 cards in hand, swing with them to go up to 8. Then you could play Gotenks from an 8 card hand to then receive Goten and Trunks to your hand, and you can either put a 10k on them or you can just swing. It just is what it is. But go into your next turn with the ability to combo a 10k to get out of an attack. Activate a Gallic Gun while you're at like 8 so that you can go up to 8 again. Or sorry, yeah, go up to 8 again after its resolution. You have to really manage that because defensively your hands will be tight, but offensively you should be extremely good to go. Just make sure that you start using your effects that are going to gain you cards on the second half of your turn. Sequencing is very, very tight here, and once we get some more gameplay up, you'll see just how tight it can be in terms of how you need to order things in order to play optimally. So when it comes to matchups, this is kind of weird against red because I don't think it's not favorable versus red. I think you really do need to sequence versus red correctly. Like I said, you can't just keep everything on the board and just hope it works out versus red. They will wipe you with a single Beerus. It's just not the move. Against yellow, this is actually a really, really fun deck because you can bounce a lot of their blockers. You can bottom deck a lot of their stuff. You can return a lot of stuff to hand, and then you can force it right out of their hand with how high you can combo in this deck. Against green, it's very, very interesting because your early game should feel very good against green. Your late game will revolve night and day around how many 35k shots or higher you can line up to tax their hand. And then you have essentially, you also have a, what's the word for it, the blue matchup. Anytime an aggro deck faces an aggro deck, you guys have to slow it down because that combo power will be keeping you alive as well as pressing your opponent. So it's really just a matter of knowing your own deck, knowing the matchup, and playing smartly. Now, the funny thing about this deck is that I don't think another deck in the entire game has the shotgun potential that a blue deck can have. It's not just Vegeta, it can be a blue deck. Like, if your opponent is at 1 life and they do not have a blocker, it's probably just game. Like, it's very often not hard. Like, what are you going to do? Literally, what are you going to do if your opponent has 6 energy and you have no blockers or 1 blocker, and they just start off the turn with tap 1, final flash, discard a card, and they bottom deck your blocker. They activate their leader effect. And then they just go play peel off, get back final hope, play peel off, get back final hope. Or it's like peel off into final hope, and they play another peel off, final hope. And then you just get the leader swing for 35k. You get the final hope slash, the final hope slash, both peel offs and everything in their hand. Like, just like that, the leader is at 75k, 95k, and then whatever was left in their hand. And it can get worse than that. It can definitely get worse than that. If you're at 7 energy and you get hit with double final hope slash, double Gallic Gun, double peel off, and then what's in their hand, like, and that can happen. Like, don't get it twisted, because don't forget, the final hope slashes are just doing their thing, but the Gallic Guns are replacing themselves. So yeah, it is very, 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 very scary. You just don't want to do anything if you don't have a this. I'm telling you guys, I'm stumbling over it, but I'm telling you guys, blue has the highest shotgun potential in the game, and I just don't think it's close, because out of nowhere they can just fill their hand with these final hope slashes, and if they have Gallic Guns, they're extending their plays. There's just a lot of like strength in the shotgun potential of blue. So with that being said, don't get caught lacking at 2 life if they have a double striker on board. If it's late game and they have ample energy and they got 6, 7, 8 cards in hand, just don't get caught lacking when a Vegeta comes down on 8 energy if they charge that high, and then they just start going in. It's just wild. So let me know what you guys think of this Vegeta list, the breakdown, and I hope you guys enjoy this game like I've been enjoying this game. I'm so psyched to open a case. Oh, that's a whole other thing. If everything goes according to plan with tracking, I should have a case to crack tomorrow night live on the channel. So I hope you guys join me, and I'll talk about it more then. Thank you guys, and I will see you later. All right, we are back here at the Patreon Appreciation Spotlight. Once again, giving thanks to all the people that give the extra oomph to this channel. They go the extra mile to help this channel. Over here, we're going to start swinging back into article time. It's been busy since Card Game Fest. And we also have the release of Fusion World coming out in a couple of days. Then within a month, we have the release of OPO 6. So we're going to be really diving into these articles. I've just been a little backed up, but I'm almost at a point where I think I can stop my part-time job and just devote fully to the Patreon, to the channel, to Twitch, all these things. So watch out. Then I want to give a special thanks to the members of the Realm of X. That's the Beerars, the Brycears, and the Big Daddy Flapjacks. Thank you for going the extra mile, and I will see you guys all in the next video or article. We are doing a lot of things. Thanks.